Hey, welcome to Gruber Power Hour. I'm Erica. This is Lindsay. Hi. As we talked about last week, we're going to bring on Lindsay and talk to her about her new role. Lindsay, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
That's good. So this is going to be more interview style than everyone's used to. But can you share just a little bit about, like, when did you start with Gruber?
I started in 2016.
Mm-hmm. And what was your role?
I was administrative, like sales support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did that mean? You entered all the orders, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, Lindsay, can you point that mic at yourself and pull it up a little bit?
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Just get closer to the mic. He gets mad. Oh, and don't tap on the table. Jesse gets mad.
Okay.
Think of the viewers.
Think of the viewers. And then, so share like kind of your journey into the critical power industry. Like what like inspired you to take a management role at Gruber Power after what, 7 years, 8 years?
8 years. Yeah. So I learned a lot while I was doing sales support. I've never been like oh, that's not my job kind of person.
Yeah.
I've always like, whenever somebody's like, oh, do you know what's going on with this? I'm like, show me,
I want to learn.
So yeah, I learned a lot and I was asked to take the position. So I gladly accepted.
Oh. And then when they pitched the job to you, is it more work or more fun than you expected?
It's different.
Okay. That's a great answer.
It's a little out of my comfort zone, so it's new and it's fun and exciting, but it's definitely, not what I'm used to.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. When I first went into management, my very first management job, I was kind of like, what do I do with my hands? And I didn't want to be too friendly, but it was hard not to because they were my colleagues for so long. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to tell you what to do now.
Yeah.
Do your job. Dang it. So what are like the core elements of your training, the program for new hires, and like how do you ensure that each individual is set up for success?
We have classroom training and, a lot of like on the job training, they kind of learn as they go. There's a technical training.
Yeah.
Like guidebooks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it teaches like the basics of critical power.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that it's more interesting, and this is kind of off the beaten path of what we were talking about, but do you find it more interesting like when people don't know much about this industry and you can kind of mold them to the Gruber mindset? Or do you find it's a lot easier for you to kind of take in someone who's already been in the industry?
Like 99% of the people have no idea what a UPS is when they come here. So they're like, oh, yeah, the freight carrier,
Oh, right.
So it's I haven't really had a lot of experience with people that already know.
Awesome.
To
me, I think it's easier that way to kind of like, then they don't have bad habits from other jobs and you can really form them and as they call it in sales, mold them to our image. That sounds so Illuminati. So how do you tailor your training methods to accommodate like different learning styles, and especially in critical power, it's really hard because you got to learn their learning styles.
Yeah. Just communication and observation, just seeing how they, I need them to tell me like, hey, I'm not getting this.
Yeah. It really is up to them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I catch some of it, I'm like, ooh, they're not.
You're not getting that. What's probably the most easy thing that you have had to teach? Easy to you, but they weren't getting it. And you're like, really?
Probably like telemagic seems pretty easy to me, but
it's harder to other people.
Yeah, but like looking back, I really had no idea what I was doing like the first like 4 months.
Into the role or just into telemagic?
Into telemagic.
Yeah.
I was just like,
oh, gosh. It's a great CRM system, and because we have a program called Telemagic. Oh, we got some stuff out there. Christine. Oh, hey, Christina.
Hey.
Working outside of our comfort zone is how we grow as humans. Comfort zones will continue to expand as we venture out. Ain't that about the truth there, Pete? So, I mean, Gruber motor. Oops. So, and then like, how do you tailor those different trainings though? So if you notice that the person is just not getting it, do you go one-on-one?
One-on-one, yeah, definitely.
That's probably a lot easier. Then they're not as embarrassed.
And I kind of learn with them. I mean, I'm like, the sales support role, obviously I'm familiar with, but as far as, training up and coming account managers, that's not,
You're not a salesperson.
Yeah. So it's been kind of fun, like learning with them,
Absolutely. I love that about her, you guys. She's just always got a great positive attitude. That's why you're obvious for this role. So teaching, motivating, it's just challenging. So what specific techniques have you come up with to motivate them?
I would say that the daily incentives,
Money.
Definitely. Yeah, of course.
They're like, I don't wake up for this, but I do wake up for that.
Yeah, I try to come up with like fun contests that get everybody, like excited, a little competitive.
What's the most latest contest without throwing anyone under the bus that you noticed? Was it 2025 so far in January where you're like, oh, okay, this is like the number one thing that gets them going? Is there a certain
like the
price
call
range?
count has really gotten them going, but
Okay.
I'm trying to put more of an emphasis on quality calls rather than quantity of
Absolutely.
calls. So I try not to do that too often, but
Good.
But yeah, trying to focus on leads.
Absolutely. That's our job. We need to make sure as salespeople and on her team, what we do is get the consumers that either didn't know about us or might know about us but haven't done business with us, or even those that may have fallen off the beaten path because the contact changed or something. It's our job on her team to update records, to ensure that like all of the information for the salespeople and for the account managers is definitely already in there. There should be no guessing. They should know what they're entering into by a quick 2-minute read. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's our job to just funnel money. I'm just kidding. We just take it.
Yeah.
I'm joking. So could you elaborate on like an approach, maybe a tactic, a specific tactic that you've learned, like bringing them in? Because I know when I was learning about AC and DC and alternating current and direct current and what the rectifier does and this and that, I was like, I needed coffee. Mm-hmm. It can be very boring, to hear the information. Sorry, Pete, it is a boring industry. It's a boring industry to have a conversation with somebody who has no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The boring side is it's boring in a sense of information, but it's a necessary bit of information. So you still have to kind of hold their attention. How have you found yourself doing that?
I try to kind of, put a little, like, just remind them that we're not like cold calling customers. These customers actually need what we have to offer, so, and if you get a hold of the right person, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about.
And what they need.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So it's not as hard as, like there's telemarketing jobs. I'm sure we all had them when we were 16, the ones where you're like,
hi, my name is Erica, and I want to sell you a funny pen.
Yeah, I was going to say pen too.
That's always the interview question. Sell me a sexy pen.
Yeah.
I never understood that. And those of you that do that, like, stop it. Because it really feels weird. As a salesperson who has been asked to sell a sexy pen, I have been disgusted more so by that question than anything else. Because it's like, wait a minute. So if I don't sound sexy enough, or if it's not sexy enough, then you're not going to hire me. Like, I don't know. Where do you want the pen to go? So it's a weird question. Stop asking that. What are some common challenges that you are facing when training new hires, and how do you feel like you address those challenges? These are a lot of redundant questions.
Probably product knowledge. That's just something that it's learned in time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's more of when they start on the phase 2 training, like with the working in sales support position, that's when they start really learning.
What's a power word?
Yeah. Because right now it's, that's probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah. I was given the best bit of information. Those of you new hires that should be watching. It's PowerWare 9.3 means 3-phase. PowerWare 9.1 means 1-phase, single phase.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Boom. I didn't know that either until it was really simple. Elvis was sitting there one day. He's like 93, 3-phase, 91, single phase. I'm like, oh, smooth.
Good to know.
That was much easier to like push forward with. Yeah. And then like certain inputs and outputs, which product knowledge you learn later, certain inputs and outputs. And then everyone's got to run to Steve because they're like, I don't know what it can hold. So we have so many resources, by the way, within our team. So if somebody doesn't know something, then they have someone to go to that does know. And if you don't know your resources, then you should be printing that document that Claude sends out about personnel updates because it helps. So what resources do you provide to help new hires navigate these systems?
Like you said, we do have like a team of very knowledgeable people. The informational books and the on-site training.
The books. Oh, so like the screenshots?
Yeah, we have like little
step-by-step guide.
Yeah, tutorials how to.
What's probably the most difficult process? As a sales support, what would be the most difficult process? That's the most what's the right wording? I'm asking the question wrong. The most clickies and hard to remember. Like have to click here, go back there, click in here, go back there. What's the most difficult process, do you think?
I think RMAs are hard for a lot of people to comprehend, like the logistics of it, because it has so many people that are involved and like understanding how it goes down. And then I know for me, POs to vendors were always hard.
Okay.
I get them now.
You're like, I'm 8 years deep.
8 years
I got
later.
this. Yeah. So what role does feedback play in your training process?
A huge role, actually, because everyone learns so differently. I need to, be able to, turn on a dime and work with everybody individually.
So when they're not like giving you much to work with, which I've seen in my employment history, and being a manager at times, is like, they're waiting for you to cue them for everything they need to ask. And it's like, no, ask questions. I need you to engage and be curious. So do you find that they're not always really that engaging and you kind of like have to suck it out of them?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, they don't work here anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, there was that one guy. No.
That's so true. Or like when they come in, my favorite is when somebody new comes in and after like not even a week on the floor, they're trying to change everything going on. And they're like, this system sucks. We need a new one. This is better. Do this, do that. It's like they want to change the whole company. Yeah. We've been running this way since 1980s and improving since then. Leave us alone. So what qualities do you look for when you're hiring people? Like what potential are you looking for in their resumes and stuff?
Well, definitely length of time that they spent at their, most recent jobs. Because I don't want to hire somebody and know that they're going to, job hopper. They're just going to leave in 3 months because it's a lot of training and a lot of work that gets put into.
Yeah, it's a lot of investment.
Yeah.
We're investing a lot of money as a company in like the first, 6 months to a year it takes really to of repetitive training and repetitive knowledge. And you don't always get to retain that information. So it does take a long time because most of us who are human retain information by looking at it, then trying it, and then perfecting it. And in order to do that, it's not like, here, learn this 20-step process and then wait 3 weeks and we'll do it again. They don't retain it very well. So it's very repetitive. So what are like some former new hires who have major success stories, do you feel like?
So I haven't really been in the management role long enough to see them fulfill their, get to where they're going. They're on the way there.
Right. True.
But when I was part of the sales support training, the stage 2 training, I've seen a lot of them become successful account managers.
And what do you think played the biggest part in their success? Just being the outsider looking in?
Probably just teamwork. Everybody's really helpful here and, making everybody else a success. So.
That is true. The most unlikely people were very helpful to me. I didn't know that RBF was a thing until I started working in offices. Sorry, we've got something. But people will have like this resting face, right? And you don't know if you can approach them or not. And then you do approach them and you're like, that didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to get my neck handed right off. So we've got some stuff here from, Gruber Motor Company. We have such great products and services. Educating prospects on what we do turns them into customers. That's the truth. Just letting them know we're here and this is what we do. It's great marketing and advertising. I don't care who you are or what company you are, like you have to do it. So what do you guys service? And we have a data center in Des Moines. Well, Tyler, we service uninterruptible power supplies. We service generators. I can't say necessarily HVAC systems, but we have knowledge in the products themselves, and we have the right vendors, as well as contractors and our own internal field engineers and so forth. So we not only service, we provide hard to find parts. So as a data center in in Des Moines, you're probably going through weather problems on a consistent basis. You guys might have brownouts or blackouts or something to that effect. Or even disturbances. And what the UPS will do is provide backup power. And then that battery backup power is just waiting for the generator to kick on. So it's the backup to your backup. And it doesn't provide, you don't want to go 5-10 hours on a battery backup unless you're very wealthy. I don't know any other way to say that. But it is efficient. It's very efficient to have the backup systems, especially in a data center. In a data center, your data will be protected. You won't be as vulnerable. Those really are the key components to that. So, Tyler, we'd love to hear from you. If you want to email me, gut@gruber, gruber.com. I can get you over our line card, and we can talk about your place over in Des Moines. So thank you, by the way, Tyler, for chiming in. We love interactions. Oh, because we're going to be moving on to health as well. If anybody wants to chime in and tell us what you guys do in your office that's healthy, so when we get to this portion of the segment, I'd love to read those off too. So these are going to be my favorite. How do you strike balance between providing new hires with necessary knowledge and ensuring that they build confidence to operate independently? Because that's literally your job. That's difficult, I would find personally.
Well, I feel like the confidence comes from knowledge, so it's just a time-based thing. It comes naturally through time.
Yeah, I agree. I love interviewing.
I'm just like their little cheerleader. I'm like, you guys are doing awesome,
Positive enforcement.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes. And we don't do participation trophies here. That helps. So in the industry where workload and pressure can lead to burnout, what's a good strategy you think so the new hires just don't burn themselves out?
I don't know. I would hope that they would just communicate with me. Obviously, it's a lot easier to cover somebody's workload if they need to take a day for themselves than it is to recover from a complete burnout.
True.
So we try to avoid that, and if they can talk to me about it, then I would definitely work with them.
Yeah, we encourage also, I feel like exercise is very much encouraged here. If you're kind of sitting at your desk and you're just in this antsy rut, then get up and take a walk. I mean, heck, we've got over a block of buildings. Just walk them. And then there's also, I have oranges at my desk if you guys want them. It gives you a little vitamin, a little pep. I don't know. I always found that dialing, it is a mental burnout. And it really does. When you've been rejected 50 times in a day, even if you haven't spoken to somebody, them not answering the phone can sometimes lead to a human being feeling rejected or incompetent in their position because, well, why aren't they answering their phone? Is it me? They then get in their feelers or in their head, and you just take a walk, drink some water, stop drinking Monster energy drinks and sitting at a desk all day. That'll definitely help you not
all anxious and
then burn out. I mean, I don't know how people do that part. You're just diminishing your health and you're diminishing your mindset because there's nowhere to exert that much energy at a desk. Unless you're got a cycle thing under your desk. I've seen that. People have little bicycle wannabe things under their desk. I did too. I'm so energetic in general. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, whoa, I'm so wired for sound naturally. And then by the end of the day, I'm crashing so hard. Go ADHD. So what's the most bizarre? If you were a superhero in critical power world, what would your superhero power be and why? And bonus points if you can tell me what your cape looks like.
So I don't really know, honestly.
I
don't
think
know
it would be
about
kindness.
a superhero. I think I would be like a fairy godmother. I just float around and try to make people's wishes come true. I'm such a nerd.
I love it though. Okay, so she's more
I have wings.
Granting wishes. Yep. Well, we're almost there. So what's the most bizarre question a new hire has asked you other than, can I charge my phone with the generator?
I don't really think I get any like weird questions. I think they probably save those for Steve in the technical training.
Now I got to interview Steve. He'll never do it. He'll never do it. If you could give all the new hires one piece of advice that you can't fit into a training manual, what would it be? And don't touch live wires.
Just to stay teachable. They're never gonna, it's gonna be years and years and years. Like, I still hear things that, that I haven't dealt with before. And I'm like, let's learn together. Cause, it's because of the industry. There's never, one certain way things are going to go.
Exactly. Yeah. And Tyler, to answer your question, absolutely. We offer service agreements. So we don't have to, she has to get to a manager meeting and she's not going to be with us for this next segment, but we really enjoyed bringing you on. And I just want to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun is it to teach new hires?
I really love it, actually, because the person that you end up working with is not really like the person you interviewed. Like their like personality starts coming out, and everybody's just been really fun so far.
Totally agree. So. Well, Lindsay, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you later today. And for the next portion of this segment, poor girl, you gotta hustle, gotta get there. All right. Thanks again, Lindsay. So I wanted to get into the health of a huge initiative that Gruber is taking. For the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be talking to you about health. Like, I know here in Arizona, everywhere I've gone, everyone, it has a cough, they're sniffling, they're sneezing, they're coughing. It's like, enough is enough. Wash your darn hands. Cover your mouth. Like, what we consider to be common sense is apparently not that common nor sensible. So I'm going to read these stats off to you guys. This is going to be, I don't know. I was disgusted personally. 60% of people don't wash their hands after using the bathroom. This is coming from CDC, so if you trust them at all. People don't wash their hands. That's like sharing a communal cup of nacho cheese dip with like 100 people, in my opinion. That's disgusting. That is just disgusting. So, and then 30% of people touch their face at least 23 times a day. So, or an hour. Oh my gosh. 23 times per hour. So you're not washing your hands. Then you're touching your face. Then your nasty is touching a doorknob. Then that next person behind you, it's like, I don't know. No wonder germaphobes get really, really don't want to go outside. I wouldn't want to go outside either, knowing these types of statistics now. So coughing is the most common symptom, as I'm coughing, in the workplace illness, with 61% of employees reporting coughing at work. I think last week, actually really since Halloween, I've had this annoying tickle in my throat, and it's not like a cough, but when I cough, it sounds like I'm coughing up a whole bunch of stuff when it's really just clearing my throat. And I've been talking to my doctors, and I have no idea how to clear that up. But I definitely want to be less phlegmy and less congested. But I'm not currently sick. It's just, man, I just can't kick this. I don't know, maybe post-nasal drip, something they want to call it. I don't know, but it's not good. It's not good for me to have any bacteria or anything in my throat. So I'm constantly gargling with like salt water or something to be more mindful of the bacteria, and then covering my mouth when I cough, using hand sanitizer. I do that a lot. So 1 in 5 people don't cover their mouth when they cough or sneeze. So you're just sitting there, you're typing away at your desk and like all over your screen, and then you're not wiping down your screen. I don't know. This is gross. And then food poisoning. Food poisoning is the leading cause of workplace absenteeism, with 22% of employees taking a sick day due to food poisoning. That's like, oh my gosh. This is from the American Cleaning Institute. They wrote a joke here that says, that's like having a cafeteria that's secretly ran by a mad scientist. That's funny. 1 in 5 people don't clean their phone. My husband is all over me all the time about how gross my phone was back in the day. So now almost once a week, I take just an alcohol pad or something to my phone. Or if I've been touching a lot of nasty stuff, I'm always cleaning my phone. You could take a Lysol wipe to your phone cover or whatever and get the nasty out of there. Absolutely, Tyler. Thank you. Thank you for contacting us and even being willing to talk with us. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. I hope you do email me. Again, that was gut, GUT at Gruber.com. You can also call up here, extension 401. Now, the average office keyboard has over 400 times more bacteria than a flippin' toilet. Blech. That's so bad. That's so bad. Clean your keyboard. You're touching it all day. You're coughing in your hands. You're sneezing. You're wiping your butt. You're not washing your hands. And then you're touching your keyboard. It's disgusting. So grody. The flu costs the United States economy $31 billion a year. Say that again. That was $31 billion a year because we don't want to wash our hands. We don't want to clean up our little spaces. I think we're spoiled. Influenza is responsible for 140 hospitalizations and 56,000 deaths annually. I think that's been a long time. It's been a long time that the flu has been causing, but there's ways to avoid the flu, which we're going to get into here at Gruber too. We're going to start it up again. We used to do it here at Gruber, but I don't know. We just kind of stopped for a little while, but we're going to get back into it because this flu season and the cold season is just, it's horrible. Especially this one. I don't know what it is about this one, but it's really bad. And we also were hearing reports from Maricopa County that the bird flu was in the water, all the way into even Mesa and Chandler. There was anything like Maricopa and Maricopa borderline. It was bird flu in the water, and you can't completely filtrate that out. So you're washing your hair with the bird flu, and then I don't know if that necessarily played part in it. I know I wasn't told I had the bird flu or anything, so thank goodness. Now, ways to prevent influenza. Oh, what we're going to be doing is passing out vitamins again. We're going to be doing multivitamins, and then, maybe even chiming in on certain days instead of ordering pizza, doing like a salad bar and maybe even some Mediterranean. I love Greek food. It's very healthy. It's very good for you. And eating these ginormous meals in the middle of your workday is only going to make you sluggish. I don't know if anyone else eats on Thanksgiving, but I know when I eat on Thanksgiving, I'm tired. And it wasn't even the turkey yet that I had eaten. It was all of the snacks before the turkey. All of these processed foods are horrible for you. They're super high in sodium and salt and just preservatives. And the more preservatives, if you don't even know what that chemical compound is, then you probably shouldn't be eating the food. If you're not even looking it up. I know that I love Charlie's Steakery, and I started looking up, some of the ingredients that they have and the preservatives, and I've never even heard of half of the preservatives in the meat. Now, granted, it's still really good, and I only eat it every now and again, but it's not just what you consume. Also, it's how much you consume. You can eat, one thing of peas, and it's not that hard on your stomach, but then you eat 20 things of peas, you're going to have a stomach problem. It's very high in fiber. So you need to take in and really assess based on your height, based on your weight, based on your current diseases, if you have any, what are some preventatives that you can do? I myself have fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis, and they say that that's like an immune disorder. And I also had cancer at one point. So I know for a fact that my immune system I've got to stay on it. Otherwise, I'm down for the count. And I don't want to, I'm only 30 something. I'm not telling you. And so I don't want to be down. So some ways to prevent it is, some people enjoy the vaccine. I don't get a flu vaccine because I feel like there's too many variants and it spreads too much, but I'm not your doctor, so do you. Avoid close contact. If somebody is sick, you shouldn't be this close. Something I learned, during COVID is at least an arm's length away. A cough can shoot 6 to 10 feet. So it's coming out pretty fast. If I'm talking to you and I'm a spit talker or someone's a spit talker, the breath has little droplets in it. It's like, to really get down to that science of it, people, be mindful of the environment and the people around you. I've got children at home. I don't want to bring the nastiness from the workplace home to my children, who then spread it to the people at, church, or passing by the little friends that they play with in the neighborhood, and then their parents get sick, and then there's just this domino effect that I feel guilty about, because I started the chain of nasty, and the chain of nasty led to income loss. Sometimes people lose their jobs because they're out of work so long. It's just not right. Or your kids go to daycare. You're taking your kids to daycare. That really green mucus in the morning that you're seeing, that's not allergies only. So take it into effect. Just think about it. What else? At least stay home like 24 hours. I know we don't want to lose our job. I know we don't want to lose income. I know we don't want to do any of that. But having other people have to miss work or something like that because you got sick, I don't know. I find that not fair to others. I just really don't. It's like, you didn't pay your rent and you're getting evicted. Somehow that's my fault. No. If you come to work sick and you get me sick and I've got to take days off, and it just sucks. It does suck. I actually like coming to work. I actually like being here. So one more thing that I can very, very much say is, when you're coughing, when you're sneezing, wash your hands, avoid, touching your eyes and your mouth. I'm just being as cautious as I can. And I hope that the rest of you will too. And especially here at Gruber, we're all finally starting to feel a little bit better. So let's just keep it that way. I love Claude's message that he had during the meeting about staying healthy and taking a healthier initiative. Take some walks, folks. Take your vitamins, drink lots of water. And we'll see you next week on Gruber Power Hour. I'm Erica.